record. Hey everyone, this is Michelle Caulk, a therapist with the St. Louis Counseling Center, and we want to talk a little bit today about privacy and confidentiality while you're doing online counseling. And I have a little panel for you today, which is very cool. You'll get to hear some expertise from other therapists at the St. Louis Counseling Center. And Lilian is one. So Lilian, can you introduce yourself real quick?
Sure, absolutely. I'm Lilian Werner, and I'm one of the counselors at St. Louis Counseling Center.
Great, thanks Lilian. And Stewart?
Hey, I'm Stewart Brenegar, and I'm also a counselor at St. Louis Counseling Center.
Very cool. So all three of us do have past experience offering online counseling, or you may also hear it referred to as telehealth or virtual counseling, whatever you want to call it. We all have some experience even pre-coronavirus, but we thought it would be helpful just to talk through a couple of topics today to help you feel more comfortable with online counseling. And the neat part is that a lot of research shows that online counseling is just as effective as face-to-face. So if this is a good time for you to get extra support through counseling, we highly encourage you to do so, especially as telehealth is available and it's very easy to use. So our first question, and we'll turn it back to Lilian and Stewart. So why is it so important for our clients to consider that idea of privacy and confidentiality in online counseling? And maybe start out a little bit talking about even what is privacy and confidentiality in counseling.
Sure, absolutely. So privacy and confidentiality I think is a huge part of what creates the safety of counseling, because we know that we're going to be able to share in a confidential manner. Once you've determined that you trust your counselor and that feels fit, you're going to know that your information is in confidence unless you sign a release to have that information shared. And your counselor would go over any emergency procedures that they might have if they were concerned about safety. But it's the law, it's what creates safety. And so in the office, you have that sense of, hey, I'm in an office with a shut door and nobody can hear me. And in telehealth, we really do have that same in that we can create a secure connection in a forum that has protections. And your counselors are taking it really seriously in their homes, doing whatever they need to do to ensure privacy. Either some clients will be going into a separate office space where the clients are not. Some will have a room in their house with sound machines that's far away from any other noise. So the counselors are taking it really seriously too, that this is just as private in a telehealth situation.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's important to know that whatever you share in counseling is going to stay there. That unless, your safety or someone else's safety is of concern, that the things you bring into counseling they're not going to be shared. The counselor's not going to be talking with other people about them, That's important to feel like this is actually a place where you can bring those deep parts of yourself that maybe you don't share every day with people. So I think, yes, feeling safe and feeling like this is a trusted space is really important. And that can happen, happens online. I think one of the reasons it's so important is if you're seeing your counselor online and you're, in your home, it's important that your spouse or your roommate is not sitting in the same room or just down the hallway with an open door. It's important that other people can't hear you, because then you're not really safe to say what you need to say and to be honest about your experience, because the things you're bringing into counseling might be related to the person who's, just down the hall. And so feeling like you can actually say what you want to, that's really important. And it means that you kind of have to think through, where's a safe place in my house, or maybe at my work, or maybe in my car. Where's a place where I'm going to feel like I have free reign to say what needs to be said. It's important.
Yeah, very much so. Very much. Thank you both for that perspective. So why is it so important to us as licensed counselors to be able to really focus in on this? Like, what's the big deal from our side, and what can a client expect, such as informed consent, before going into an online counseling session? What's kind of unique about this confidentiality and consent for online counseling?
Mhm. Well, so for us, that is a professional standard that we are required to meet. That's not optional. That's not something we do. You know, that is absolutely required, and that is considered essential for our profession. So before coming in to meet with any of us, you would sign the regular confidentiality form that we would always have, and then we would add to that some informed consent about what the telehealth relationship can look like. And so that would mean that we are going to take your confidentiality very seriously at all times, and that you'll have some knowledge going in, and we'll talk in our first sessions about how to do that. If someone pops into your room expecting we're going to hang out and reconnect at a time when it's private for you, we're going to talk about how we can handle it to make sure things stay confidential.
Excellent. Anything to add to that, Stewart?
No, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's essentially our duty as professional counselors to help you make sure that you are a good informed consumer of online counseling services. And that's really partially what this is about. So you get all the information up front, and then as Lilian said, then we talk you through it and we take the time to answer any questions that you may have, specific or not specific to online counseling, but just building this nice trusted therapeutic relationship as we go along. So if a client has decided that they want to engage in online counseling, and they have a household maybe full of children, or maybe there's a spouse, maybe there's some different generations living in the household, maybe a mother, dad, what have you, how would they even have that conversation with their loved ones about, I'm needing some counseling right now, I really need some privacy? What kind of suggestions do you have around how to have that conversation?
I think, you know, there are many family situations where it might be possible to say, hey, I'm working with, however you want to refer to us, a counselor, a coach, a mentor, and this is something I really need to do, and I'm going to need some privacy. There might be a situation where if you're already Zooming a lot and you're not, it doesn't feel safe to tell your family members to say, I have a real meeting that has to be quiet. And so I'm going to be in this space that's quiet. And that may mean that maybe children get a special activity only during that meeting time that they kind of look forward to. Hopefully, you know, many people will be in supportive family environments where they can work together, but there are even creative to do it if you feel like you don't have the support you wish that you had.
Yeah, and talking about the need for just a safe space, like sometimes asking if you have a supportive spouse or partner or roommate. If there's not place in your home where you can both be there, maybe even asking them, hey, could you go on a walk and take the dog to the park for this hour? Can you, if they're supportive and they're wanting to help you create that space for counseling, asking them to be creative with you and finding ways to make that space happen, that can also be helpful.
Mm-hmm. And I think you'll find during telehealth that many counselors are able to be a little bit more flexible. So if you're needing to time it with your family being on a walk, or a baby being a nap, or you need to go out to your car or to your office, that often that can really happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's that idea of some communication and flexibility. And I have had clients, I've been many places in my client's home virtually now, which is actually kind of neat for me as they show me this different aspect of their worlds. But I have been in essentially the car with a client who just needed a little bit of quiet. There are basement spaces. There's a possibility of maybe a walk-in closet. So I think it's exercising that creativity and even kind of communicating beforehand so that the family members know what to expect. I've had other clients put a note on their door just to say, please do not come in. And it's been child height, a sign saying no, stay away for 45 minutes. And then it's been adult height as well, so it's not missed along the way. So any other kind of practical tips that you can suggest, Stewart or Lilian, about how this can go, how we can kind of partner together to make this the most effective, efficient process possible?
I think thinking of meeting in your car, like sometimes you won't be able to find a safe place in your house or at, maybe at your office. So if you need to meet in your car, there are a few things to think about. One is to park somewhere where you can see people around you clearly. So if someone's approaching your car, you're able to do what you need to do to kind of react to that. Make sure it's someplace either where you have Wi-Fi coverage from a building or you have a strong cell signal, just to make sure that the connection's uninterrupted and you're able to talk with your counselor freely. Yeah, I have a number of clients who, for various reasons, use their car, and it's obviously better to be in a nice room in your house where you feel safe and you feel like it's a good space. But the car can work.
In the house too, I found that if you have an electronic device, that makes a great noise machine. So does your phone. So sometimes just popping that maybe just inside or just outside your door can feel a little more relaxed because there's some extra sound coming. And so that can be another way to just create some privacy and some mental space maybe for you too, if you're worried if you're worried about sound carrying or anything like that.
Very much so. Well, to both of you, thank you very much for your time. We wanted to make this a good, brief check-in for you, and hopefully it's been informational as you consider what does it mean to do this online counseling idea. And feel free to reach out. All three of us are part of the St. Louis Counseling Center, and we would love to hear from you and would love to partner with you during this very stressful time. Anything else to add, Lilian or Stewart?
I would add too that most of us do offer like a free 15-minute consult. And so if you're thinking about this, but you're like, I don't know, would I feel weird virtually? Like we could do that consult virtually. So you have a chance to just kind of see what it would feel like.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Lilian and Stewart, for your time. Appreciate it. And thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us as well. Take care.
Thanks, Michelle.
Sure thing. Bye.